Now to measure diastasis recti, we measure two things. First is the width, that is the distance between the two ab muscles. The second is the depth, that is how deep your finger goes in. This actually tells us how strong your connective tissue is. So you have to measure both of those things. So first we are going to measure the width. To measure the width, first lie in a very comfortable position. Take two fingers, place it on your navel. When I'm placing my fingers on the navel, the palm is facing towards me. Now I'm just going to try and feel the two ab muscles. Once you have felt the ab muscles, you're going to slightly lift your head. When you lift and contract your core, the two ab muscles will start hugging your finger like this. If it's not hugging, you feel there is more space, then you're going to insert another finger and check whether it's hugging three fingers. If there is still space, you can insert one more finger. So how many ever fingers are fitting between the two ab muscles? That is the width of your diastasis recti gap at the navel, right? Now the same thing you're going to check at three different levels. First you're going to do it at navel, then you're going to check 2 inches above the navel, and then you're going to follow the same process and check 2 inches below the navel. Note down all three measurements to see how many fingers are fitting at all different levels. The next thing we measure is the depth. Now the depth you measure by how deep your finger goes in, whether it is one knuckle, two knuckle, or the entire finger is going in. So again, place one finger at the navel, slightly lift your head. When you lift your head, you will feel a slight pushback. Now after feeling that pushback, you can see how deep your finger has gone in. If it is one knuckle deep, that is one column depth. Similarly, the depth also you're going to check at all three levels. First you're going to do it at navel, then 2 inches above the navel, then 2 inches below the navel. Now it is very important to measure your diastasis recti at all three levels, because that tells us what type of diastasis recti gap you have. So if you have gap only in the navel region, that means you have a middle diastasis recti gap. If you have gap in the upper portion, then that means you have an upper diastasis recti gap. If you have a gap all over at all three levels, that means you have an open diastasis recti gap. So all of these measurements are very important for the program or for the treatment that we decide for your current situation.